Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everyone, this is the Loose Cannon, David McBee, and welcome to another exciting episode of TLSN Overtime. I finally got a guy I've been trying to nail down the last couple of years, but I always miss him because I wait too late in the season. But I caught him just before basketball season starts. We got Flippin Bobcats senior girl coach, Grant Greenhaw. Grant, so glad to finally have you on the show, man.
Good to be here. We were able to make it happen.
All right. Well, I got a little bit of lagging right there. Can you hear me okay? You were I heard you talking, but you didn't move. So,
I can hear you really good.
okay. All right. Hopefully we'll get that worked out. You're dragging just a little bit. That's internet gods are being kind to us right now, but which is crazy. It was working great right before we hit record. Then we hit record and it starts freezing up. But I know you've been a Flippin' Bobcat coach for a while now. And we were talking before we went on air, kind of your path to flipping. I know you'd worked some at Mountain Home and then kind of share us a little bit of the background before you came over to flipping.
Yeah, the path to Mountain Home kind of started in Russellville as I was finishing up my degree in the PE department there at Arkansas Tech. The current coach at Russellville was Marty Barnes, and he just sent an email out to the PE staff there at Tech. If you've got anybody that wants to come, work for me for free, I got a spot for them if they want to come to practice every day, and they can work with our sophomores. And I knew who Marty was. He had been the coach at Arkansas Tech. Went to the Final Four 3 times there, and then just decided to go back to Russellville to the high school, which he had won a state title there like in '82, I think. Anyways, I said, well, that's probably a good experience, and it ended up being a really good experience. So he's in the Hall of Fame. So to get around somebody like that at a young age, and his assistant coach was a really good guy too, really good coach, Joe Sikowski. I think he still owns the record for highest field goal percentage in career at Fayetteville High School.
Wow.
He played Joe Kretschmar at Fayetteville, who's also in the Hall of Fame. So it's just really good guys, really good people. And Joe's brother, George, was the high school coach at Mountain Home at the time. And then so there's a connection there. When I graduated, George was looking for a junior coach, and Joe said, "You need to hire this guy." So that's how I ended up at Mountain Home, which was really good for me because my wife's from Flippin. So it just worked out really good for us.
Of course, Mountain Home's a good program, but then, you were able to go over to Flippin, and, the Flippin program has been just fantastic for years and years on both the boys and the girls side. And, when you got over to Flippin, you've had some quite, we were talking before we started, probably some of the most exciting games I've ever called has been games involving Flippin with either Yellville or Cotter. You guys have just had some battles, but, what's kind of been what's maybe some of your biggest memories since you come over to Flippin and some of those teams that you've had?
Oh gosh, that's a difficult question. I've been so fortunate to, have so many girls that have just worked so hard and been so coachable, uh, and so trustworthy and good, really good parents to work with too. I mean, I worked them girls so really hard, and and they bought in. I don't know, best memories. Gosh, I don't know. I don't want to pick and choose. It's hard to say. There's too many to pull from. I mean, certainly that the district final game when we over here at our place when we beat Yellville on the buzzer beater. I mean
Well,
that
that would definitely be my most exciting game calling. I mean, I'll go and say that. I mean, that was a back and forth battle between you guys and Yellville. And I mean, they led for a long time, then you got stormed back, then they took the lead back right at the end, and then they were inbound in it, and Yellville fans going crazy. And then the play you designed at the end for that shot, I've never got a chance to ask you, was that the play that you designed, or was that something that they just found someone open, or?
no, that was by design. I mean, it's an option play, and where the point guard is Deborah Rackley, she's got to make the right read, and she did. And Brooklyn knocked the shot down, and game over. I mean, you're asked about other memories. We've had some battles with Cotter, uh, especially when Kate was there. Good gosh. Uh, I remember when they had the crown over girl, or we played them about 2 weeks after they played Valley, and Valley was really good that year. And Cotter had a good team too, and I think she had 32 or 34 points on Valley, and we played them at Cotter, and Hope Rackley beat her up, and she had a goose egg that night, and we won by 1 point, I think.
Yeah. And then I remember the Cotter game where, it was, I think the district was over at Yellville that year. That was like one of the first years that we covered basketball. And I remember they got the upper end on that one with that last second, stop pop and a three-point shot. And you got, you shooting like 20%, but then hit it right when it mattered. But man, yeah, you guys have had some battles.
Yeah, that was my second year, and I felt like we were way above. We were a little ahead of schedule playing in the district finals that year. That's when Hope and Leah Maley and Kaylee Warren were sophomores, and yeah, yeah, that still hurts to talk about.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up too much. I know that kind of hurts to talk about, but
That girl from Goddard I mean, she said tough shot, you know, but man, I don't know. I don't mind, like I had all those girls back over, some of those I mentioned, like all the seniors that have played for me up till last year, just because they hadn't graduated yet. I had them all over my wife and I had them over to the house for like Thanksgiving uh, last year. That's a pretty special memory. Maybe we weren't even playing. They're all, doing life now. And I guess, that means more to me than the games.
well, you've had some great memories, and now you're working on making some memories with this team. Kind of tell us a little bit about your squad, this upcoming Lady Bobcat squad. We're going to start our coverage next week of basketball. We're finishing up football season, and we're tipping off. It's going to be you guys. Speaking of Cotter, it's going to be you guys at Cotter. We're going to be over there broadcasting that game. Tell us a little bit about the Bobcat team that's coming up this year that you're coaching.
I like this team. We're senior laden. We played Monday and Tuesday this week. Did some good things. Got plenty to work on. Um, we have, we have experience at every position. Uh, we have ability at every position. I think it's a group that is going to they're going to do their best to try and do things right and play good, clean basketball. And, on the nights that they do that, I believe they're going to be tough to beat. Hopefully, it's a team we've talked about a lot, not beating ourselves on either end of the floor and playing real efficient on both ends of the floor. And through our first two games, we've took some really good steps in doing that. And of course, they've been taking steps to do that, throughout the summer and into the school year. But I felt like it showed up in our first two games. So it's a long season. So time will tell.
Well, and two, like last year, you transitioned to the 3A. very tough conference. I know you guys had Bergman and Valley and a lot of them. And now this year, you got an old rival coming back in your conference with Yellville moving up to the 3A. So, what are you expecting? Who to watch for in that conference besides you guys?
Yeah, this will be our third year in 3A. You know, who to watch for? Gosh, I mean, Bergman's going to be, they're always somebody to watch for. I went back and researched, did some history on it, and talked to my team about it back in the spring. I guess probably in early April. I went back to 2010, and between 2010 and 2024, I think I'm right on this. If my memory serves me, there were only 3 years between 2010 and 2024 that a team from this current conference did not play in the state finals or win the state finals. And there was multiple years where two teams from this current conference played each other. Like, for example, Bergman played Salem last year in the state title game. There was years that Valley played Mountain state title game. There were years that Valley played Lamar or somebody else, but somebody from that league played in the state. There was only 3 years out of 14 years where somebody from the current makeup of this conference didn't play in the state finals. I thought that was pretty tough. I mean, if that, I don't know, and I'd like to see how that would compare with others in conferences and boys and girls, but it's a strong conference. If you make it out of our conference, you're into the postseason. You're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and the crowds too. All of those schools bring a lot of crowds. When Bergman comes over, it's a big crowd, and your Bobcat fans, they're always making a lot of noise too.
It is, I'm just talking from the girls' basketball side of just the quality of it previously, but there's no doubt. I mean, we're excited to be in that league because it is very, I don't know, it's closer to home. I think every school in that league, they're going to travel well. They're going to support their teams well. Not to say that the teams that were in our conference last year did not. It's just, hey, it's a long ways from here to West Fork.
Yeah, that is true. Well, and
It's a long ways from here to Lincoln. I mean, that's near Oklahoma. It really is. I mean, it's a long ways. And it's not it's not that far to Salem. It's not, it's not 3 hours.
exactly. Well, and speaking of things that you got coming up too, something that you've done for many years that you've had over there is the RVS Invitational, and that's getting ready to start up in just a couple weeks. Last year, just a huge tournament. I got a chance to cover it, and it was just, some of the teams you had come in. We had Norfolk and Bergman. You had Flippin that was really good. Cotter coming over. I mean, it was a loaded tournament. What can we expect this year with the RVS tournament coming up in just a couple weeks?
Yeah, that starts on November the 16th. It'll go till the 23rd. Games going in both gyms, all throughout the week. Yet another good field of teams. Usually in girls, whoever plays in whoever wins that, they end up competing for a state title. I guess they have for the past 3 or 4 years, or winning one. Because I think Bergman, they won it last year and won the RVest. Salem, I can't who played in that the year before, and it's been that way. Jasper won it in boys, and they had a strong season last year. There's good teams in it, lots of games too. Because there's the consolation bracket as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's always a fun event, a lot of work.
Yeah, I know you guys with that, and then the Billy Plies not long after that. You guys, Flippin's really in November and December. It's really the hub for Arkansas basketball with a lot of the things that you have going on.
It is, and we've changed the format of the Billy Ply to now it's a tournament 3 days, and every team that's in it plays 3 games, so it's a lot of games too for that as well. So it's kind of similar to the format of the RVest. But we have really good help with the RVest from the fine folks at RVest to help us make that happen. So we couldn't do it without them.
Well, we love, of course, those people that don't know. I'm actually work at Arvest Bank, so always glad to do it. Always glad to support working concession stand. I know the last since like 2020, I've been trying to stream every single game. It started off as we're the first sponsor to actually stream, and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, why don't we start streaming games all the time? And it kind of turned into its whole other thing with the Twin Lake Sports Network. So. But we're excited to be a part of that. And I know you're super busy, and I was able to catch you. But before I let you go, I got a few rapid fire questions I wanted to throw by you quick. So you open to a couple quick rapid fire questions?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's start off with, just curious, is there anything that you're binge watching right now?
No, if I'm home and I'm watching something, it's live sports.
A lot of sports. So do you like watch a lot of, I'm sure you watch a lot of basketball. So college, NBA, what do you like watching?
I really I watch less basketball than I ever have, probably. If I'm watching basketball, it's for research purposes generally. And I'm like watching old footage of college or pro teams that I can try and learn something from on YouTube, or I'll maybe try and watch a coaching clinic. Uh, it's usually football or baseball. I've watched a lot of Major League Baseball this year, more so than in the past. But I like college football, and I get into that when I have a free Saturday.
Well, the of course World Series ended up last night. What'd you think of that? With the Dodgers taking the championship?
Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan. I don't like the Dodgers or the Yankees much either, but wasn't a very. I mean, I thought it'd be more competitive than that. The Dodgers and the Yankees. I mean, it was seemed like the Dodgers had their way with them for the
Yeah,
most.
it was pretty one-sided. It wasn't. It seemed like the other playoffs before then were more drama than. I mean, it was pretty one-sided. So, all right. Well, another quick question for you. All right, you like to research a lot of basketball through the years. Who is your favorite all-time basketball player?
Michael Jordan.
All right, yeah, gotta go with Jordan, man. I mean, all right, it's Jordan LeBron debate. They're always talking about that. I'm all Jordan. Anyone that watched Jordan play in his prime, man, I mean, so I always say Jordan's the greatest. So
Yeah, no question. There's no debate there for me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and I was watching the other day. I think it was the '97 championship when they were playing the Jazz, and of course, they always start with the serious song that they play the intro for them. I'm like, once they played that song, it was already game over. It's like that was the most, just having that play. Kind of like I know you guys have done some pretty cool entrances over the years in Flippin too. So maybe you could bring out some of that Bulls music in one of these days.
I'm well, we'd probably have to give our kids a history lesson on it, and then they might appreciate it. But turned it on, they'd be like, "What's this?"
That is true. I probably just aged myself right there.
Yeah, I
But
find out more often now.
well, what another just two more quick questions and then we'll let you go. Favorite song to get you pumped up for a game?
I don't really no song for a game really for me. I don't know. I like movies more so. I mean, I might like pull up a clip. I'm a really big fan of the Miracle, the hockey movie,
Okay.
and I think that story there is one that doesn't get enough play, and the job that Herb Brooks, the coach, did with that team has got to be one of the all-time best. I don't know, and Kurt Russell does a great job portraying him in that movie, and I might watch some clips of that from him talking to his team or working with them, and something like that. Not really. I don't know. Try to just be self motivated.
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, that was biggest upsets of all time, when they defeated the Soviets in 1980. So, I mean, absolutely, absolutely a great one. Classic there.
No
So,
doubt.
all right, final one is what is one thing fans might not know about you?
Well, in my spare time, I you could find me like reading books about economics. It's always kind of been something that's interested me. Um, and there's one laying by my chair right now. The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Hayek. So that's probably something most people don't know.
Well, I thought it was going to be, I think I've had some people comment before that they think you got the sweetest tattoo of any of the coaches around here. So I thought maybe that was going to be, because normally you don't see it at games, but I was like,
That's
yeah,
fun.
I thought you were going to maybe bring that up. But no, I mean, economics, yeah, maybe you should have been a banker, man.
Well, I don't know. Probably not. It's just something that interests me.
Well, it's
Sure,
turned into a career for me.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
No, I said I turned it into a career for me. So.
Okay.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for taking your time. Looks like the internet gods worked with us, made it through the interview and stuff. But good luck on your season. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week and covering a lot of your games throughout the season. But appreciate you so much for joining us, Coach.
You bet. Thanks for reaching out. Glad to be a part of it.
All right, well, we appreciate you.
Okay. Take
Ladies and gentlemen.